Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I'll be showing you how I built my castle in Animal Crossing New Horizons. This is a brief walkthrough of the finished castle. Unfortunately, I didn't record while I was terraforming, so we're gonna go ahead and start after I've already placed the two houses and tiles. To build this castle, I started with a 15 by 14 plot. I went ahead and started from the very back of the plot and added a 15 by 7 second level. I added an additional 3 spaces in the center. I did not add tile to some spaces so that I know where to put my fencing. Each house is 5 by 4 spaces and I placed them in the very back corners of the second level. There are 5 spaces between each house. You can adjust this and add more spaces to make room for more fencing if you would like, but I only had this much space because I've already built the majority of my island. Alright, so this is the part where we can start decorating with furniture. I've listed all the items and custom codes that I use in the description box down below. I started from the left of the 3 walls in the middle of the bottom level and placed down 5 of my custom panels. On the sides, I added a wedding pipe organ. I spent a while turning the organ so that the back is facing me, but you can place it from the other side to avoid this. I pushed the organ into the little gap behind the last panel. I made a mistake here placing another panel down, so I picked it back up. This panel uses one of the provided designs instead of a custom one. I placed it to the far right by the staircase, and I finished off this side by adding a silo in front of the organ and panel to hide the gap. I went ahead and repeated this for the other side of my castle. This is what the bottom level of the castle should look like once you're done. For the second level, I started behind the organ on the first level and placed 5 more of my custom panels. There's a 1 space difference width-wise between the 2 panels on the sides and the 3 in the middle. I then placed 1 backwards facing organ in the middle. I added 2 on the sides for more detail at the top of the castle. The complete structure of the castle looks like this. I added furniture to decorate from here. To give the center of the castle more depth, I added a throwback gothic mirror to give an illusion of a small door. I placed a large fountain in the middle of the courtyard. I like to add that the original measurements are only for the castle and the courtyard area. If you would like an entrance and a front garden like mine, you'll need to account for an additional 5 spaces in front. I've already decorated the area in front of my castle with roses and 2 valiant statues. To make the entrance more castle-like, I used a spring ride-on and garden wagon to create a horse-drawn wagon or carriage. From here, I added my fencing to the empty spaces I left in the beginning. On the second level, I added a golden seat between the 2 houses. This will be my throne. I placed a golden casket between the organs so that I wouldn't get caught between them while walking on the second level. I also placed 2 frozen pillars on the sides of my throne. On the edges of the fences, I added 2 marketplace decorations since they have that castle vibe to them. Returning to the bottom level, I placed 2 street lamps and 2 cypress plants in the front corners of my courtyard. So that the castle is lit at night, I added a couple of white floor lights around the areas that highlighted the castle. I went ahead and finished off my decorations with 2 champions pennants in between the silos and the staircases. That concludes this tutorial. This is my first time making one of these, so I hope that it wasn't too difficult to follow along. I wish I had recordings while I was terraforming, but it honestly took several days for me to build this castle since I have other responsibilities. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for future Animal Crossing videos. I'm thinking of filming an island tour next. Thanks for watching, and let me know if you decide to build a castle.